top 5 tips for parents of elementary schoolers with ADHD. Number 1, cultivate flexibility, do not accommodate inflexibility. Cognitive flexibility is one of the foundational executive function skills that is often lagging in many kids with ADHD. This can present as difficulty with social skills, so kids might look bossy or controlling. They might have difficulty working in groups in school. They may have a propensity to say no to anything new or unfamiliar. There are a bunch of things that you can do to help cultivate flexibility. This is a topic I talk about frequently, and I have other videos on this topic at the ADHD Dude YouTube channel, but some of the things you can do to help cultivate flexibility are, number 1, when your child says no to something new or unfamiliar, don't ask them if they want to do it, tell them that this is happening. When you step into your parental authority, you are leading your child. And kids with ADHD, they need to be led. They need to know who's in charge. The ADHD brain tends to be concrete. They do not do well when things are vague or abstract. So when you lead your child, that makes things much clearer for them and helps them feel emotionally safe. It is okay to tell your child that they are doing something instead of asking them. I promise you, you're not going to traumatize them. They're not going to be sitting in a therapist's office 30 years from now saying, I can't believe my mom made me go to the pool when I was 8. Okay, they're going to be perfectly fine. Another way you can help cultivate flexibility is help them realize that there's different ways to look at a situation. So they might have strong feelings about something, and you can help them understand, well, somebody else might feel this way about it, or I might feel this way. And it doesn't mean that we're right or wrong if we feel different than somebody else. It's just the way we feel. If they have difficulty with reciprocal play, we can help them understand other kids' thoughts and feelings about how they're coming across if they're being bossy or controlling. I teach this in Socially Smarter, which is a course in the ADHD Dude membership site that helps parents learn how to help their child build social executive function skills. Perspective taking is one of the core social executive function skills that a lot of kids with ADHD who have trouble with reciprocal play, they tend to struggle with, so we can help them build their perspective taking skills. I will tell you it's a slow process, but it's something that you should absolutely work on because it'll only help your child and it'll help them feel better about themselves when they realize that other kids do want to play with them because they're able to be flexible. The last part of this is do not accommodate their inflexibility. Parental accommodation is when parents change their behavior to alleviate or avoid their child's temporary distress. So let's say, for an example, your family is going out to dinner and your child says, I don't want to go to that restaurant. I hate that restaurant, even though the rest of you want to go there. Well, if you were accommodating them, then you wouldn't go to the restaurant because you don't want to deal with their emotional dysregulation or they're making noise or whatever it is. So what I'm saying is don't accommodate that inflexibility, because when you accommodate inflexibility, it gets worse over time. I promise you. Tip number 2, unstructured play is critical to developing both social and executive function skills. The way kids develop these skills naturally is through unstructured play where adults are not hovering or directing things. This is also how kids develop conflict resolution skills and independent problem-solving skills. So often I hear about parents of elementary schoolers with ADHD who give their kids no space at all to interact with other kids without them constantly supervising them or hovering over them or saying, don't do this, stop that, or whatever it is. But your child needs to have experiences when they're interacting with other kids independently without any adults giving them direction. Yes, that might be difficult for them. Yes, you might need to check in every 10 minutes or 15 minutes or however long, depending how old your child is. But it's really important that they have those independent play experiences so they can develop those social and executive function skills naturally. Number 3, kids with ADHD need to feel useful. So help them feel useful by helping them help out with things even when they don't feel like it. So often in families of kids with ADHD, I hear about kids who are asked to do nothing around the house. They're not asked to help with anything, or they'll say no and the parent just says, okay, yet they continue to give them all the expensive things they provide them. And that's called high giving, low expectations, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But it is so important for kids with ADHD to feel useful because the ADHD brain needs to feel useful. I cannot tell you how many parents who are members of the ADHD Dude membership site have said to me, I can't believe the difference in my child when I started asking them to help out and giving them jobs. And I can really see how their confidence has grown because I'm helping them feel useful. That's one of the best compliments I get. Tip number 4, your child needs you to lead them because, as I mentioned before, that's what helps kids with ADHD feel emotionally safe. They need to know somebody's in charge. They need to understand hierarchy. They need to know that there is structure in place because that's how the ADHD brain works. I understand that many parents right now are attracted to what I call the fluffy feelings parenting approaches that don't have evidence behind them, but they make parents feel really good. And often those approaches treat kids as partners in parenting, meaning parents get to treat their child as an equal. They get to ask them, do you want to take the trash out? What do you want for dinner? Well, your child is not your partner in parenting. They need you to lead them, as parents have done throughout time, except for right now in this very specific period of history that we're in. When you step into your parental authority, yes, your child may be temporarily upset or unhappy with you, but they'll get over it. All feelings are temporary. And that's one of the things I teach kids as well. Number 5, you need to have daily expectations of your child. I have a course called Creating Daily Expectations where I teach parents that daily expectations should be broken up into expectations about helping around the house and behavior or treatment of family members. In the course, I help parents understand how to do this realistically in a way that kids can be successful, because we want them to be successful with meeting daily expectations, because that's how they're going to earn their currency. So currency would be something like screen time or playing a game, whatever it is that motivates them. If you don't have expectations of your child, if your home is one of high giving, low expectations, meaning you give everything to them and expect nothing in return, I want you to understand that your child is not learning reciprocity in relationships. What they're learning is that I am entitled to things and I should be given things just because I'm alive. Well, that might not translate very well in terms of their peer relationships, because if they don't understand how to give to others or take others' needs into consideration, they're not going to make for a very good friend. Finally, I have a bonus one for you, and that is let your elementary schoolers speak for themselves. Too often, I see parents of kids with ADHD speak for their kids. They sometimes don't even allow them to order in restaurants themselves. When you allow your child to speak for themselves, whether that's at the doctor's office or at a restaurant or wherever it is, that is actually helping them to develop self-advocacy skills. You can help them and coach them with what to say, but it's really important that you allow them to speak for themselves, because that's how they're going to develop self-advocacy skills as they get older. Not to mention, it also helps them feel more comfortable talking with people they don't know, because they'll get more used to it. I hope these tips were helpful. If you're looking for practical parenting strategies designed specifically for parents of kids with ADHD, please check out the ADHD Dude membership site at adhddude.com, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.